Welcome back, SDAT. How are you guys doing? Did you enjoy the run? It's Spyro time, chat. Are you guys ready for Spyro time? Put your dragon emojis in chat. There we go. Look at that. I don't know if I have a dragon emoji other than the default. I have this. That works, Bocce. Don't worry about it. That works. Oh. Yeah? You want to tell the stream about it, cat? My cat says hello, everybody. I don't know if you can hear him. He has arrived. Hello. Anyway, I have good news for you, chat. I have great news for you, chat. Are you ready for that good news? It does appear that everyone's favorite CJ is here.
Finally, CJ has come back to SDAT. Hello, everybody. It is the final stretch. This is the final hosting change, and I'm going to be with you the rest of the way. Thank you to everybody who has donated so far today. We really appreciate it. Thank you to Grace for hosting. Thank you to Dayman for his earlier host shift. And someone else host today. Just remember. Oh, it was just the three of us.
Yep.
I started the day with you. I'm going to finish the day with you. But Grace, thank you so much. And take it easy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go enjoy the rest of these runs and be comfy and get some dinner. So you all have some fun, grab a snack, and be ready for everything that's to come. Goodbye.
Very true. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's check in where we are. As of right this moment, you know what? We have some ground to make up. That's okay. You know what? We are on a pretty good pace. We are $50 away from fighting the absolute radiance in Hollow Knight. And we are, I don't know. We are $300 away from that boss fight hard mode for Path of the Teal Lotus. But I believe, chat, we have done some really awesome stuff this event. We have crashed a lot of donation expectations. We have outpaced ourselves consistently through the whole event. And we've had nothing but generosity at almost every turn. So I think we can do it. I think we can get this. I know that everybody hearing this is like, man, CJ, I am super tapped out. We have donated. You continue to ask for more, and I do continue to ask for more. If you are new in the chat, if you have a few dollars, if you have just a couple extra dollars, consider donating. We are close to a couple milestones. So the milestone right now is 6,531. Kit is going to sleep for about 16 hours tonight. I believe that. We are at 6,200. We are $331 away from meeting that milestone. That is the total for SDAT 2022. This would make this the second best SDAT of all time. First is SDAT 2021. We raised 7,280. But you know what? Why does CJ remember all of those? Okay, so where else are we? I wanted to really quick. I need to refresh here because this is obviously outdated. There we go. I want to go back to all of our totals. Chat, please hold. Please hold. Almost. Chat, we have raised to date for charity $59,215, which is extraordinary. So already, congratulations. Honk. Very true, very true. Hello, Dylan. Hello, Toronite. And also, today, I don't know if you knew this, just a few hours ago, actually, we passed $35,000 total raised for just Save the Children. You did that. Can you make Toasty Cat do 9 more runs for the marathon today? I will ask. Yes, so we passed 35,000 raised for Save the Children this morning. The people are chomping at the bit. I'm going to see if we're ready to go. All right, it's time. We are now on the highway to the finale. Getting us started, our first of our final 3 runs, it is Toasted Cat doing Spyro the Dragon any %. We are going to take a quick pause for the cause. We're going to hear from Save the Children really quick, and when we get back, we're going to be live with that run. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Highway to the danger zone. Stay tuned.
La tormenta me dio mucha tristeza porque muchas personas murieron.
So, then if I find him, let's stop sorry no.
Children are the best hope for the future because the future is in our hands. We will be living in it and we will be changing it.
All right, everybody. As promised, here we are. We're doing some Spyro.
Yep,
How's
excited.
it going, Kat?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Oh, I'm living the dream, ready to see some pink dragonfly today.
Well, this one's actually purple. There is a pink.
Hello.
Was it pink that won? Is that what you were?
No, I thought it was pink. I'm colorblind. Let me see who won.
Yeah, we should do that before we start a run.
Yeah. All right, let me get the right link, of course.
Leave it on for the music.
I'm actually looking at the correct page. By $1, green won.
Green is one. Okay, hold on.
It was very close.
I just gotta do the code. Hold on. Up, right, down, left, up. Triangle should be green. Yep. I have never actually played as Green Spyro before, so it's funny. All right, are we ready on time? Whenever you guys are.
Whenever you're ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, let's just not waste any time. So, my name is Toasted Cat. I play Spyro. If you don't know, Spyro is originally a platformer made for the PS1. Oops, I tapped out of the game. In 1998, this game came out. And then in 2018, there was a remaster release for the PS4, which is what we're playing now, except this is the PC port, which came out a year later. So, this game came out in 2019, we are playing on the PC. The PC is the optimal version for both in-game time, loadless, and real-time, and I'll explain some of the strats later and why it's the fastest, but yeah, it's also the smoothest running in my opinion. Now, the category we are playing is called NBS, which stands for No Balloonist Skip, any percent NBS, and the reason that is because there is the normal any percent category uses a trick called Balloonist Skip to skip from the second homeworld to the sixth and last one, and then we skip into the final boss, and that saves about 30 minutes loadless-ish, 25. So this category, normally to go from one world to the next, you need to get a certain amount of collectibles, and I'll explain like the collectibles as we go, which how many you need. Yeah, normally you need a certain amount to go from one homeworld to the next, but with that glitch you can go get enough dragons to go to the second world, and then just skip to the last and save a lot of time. So this is like a 90% no major skips category. And as for the collectibles, there are 3 types of them. There are dragons, which you can see like a dragon right here. Yeah, we're on exit game. There are the gems, which you may have seen already. They're just like little sparkly things floating around. They have different values for the different colors, like red is a 1, green is a 2, blue is 5, yellow is 10, purple is 25. So we are going to be aiming for like the higher value colored gems. So, like all these are going to be 1. You can see the total up in the left. A lot of these levels in the early game do not have a lot of high value gems. You can see I've only really picked up 1s and 2s so far. So we're going to be skipping through a lot of things very early on to try and get to the later part of the game that has more gems with higher values. And then for the last collectibles called eggs, which there is one in this level, but we won't see him. And I'll point it out when we get to the first egg. Yeah, this category is very cool. It's one of the coolest in the Spyro trilogy, in my opinion, in the Spyro series. There's just a lot of cool skips and tricks you're going to see, a lot of cool movement. I really enjoy the movement of this game. We're going to actually have the first skip of the run coming up right here. It's called Fairy Proxy, which we're going to free that dragon to come stand over here. And just by standing in that one spot, for whatever reason on that one particular dragon, you can stand in that spot, and the fairy will just pick you up, and then you can use that to get on top, and get up here early. which isn't even that big of a time save. It just saves having to run a little bit around the level. We're gonna kind of do this backwards from here and cut out like the middle part a little bit. Gonna get this dragon here and then we'll be out. And one of the features this game introduced is called guidebooking. It was actually introduced in the original third game of the trilogy for the PlayStation 1, but with this remaster they've added it back in. There is a guidebook that like keeps track of all the collectibles you have for each level, and there is now a feature where just from the start of the game you can go into the guidebook and warp to any level you've already been to. So the reason we did Town Square over there last and came back over here was because I was able to guidebook out of it back to the start of the world, as you saw, just skipping having the little run back. Which is not a huge time save, but, you know, it's free, so why not do it? And you can already see that's the first homeworld done, which is very short because we just get basically the 10 dragons we need to leave, and that's it. We don't go out of our way for very much else. Yeah, you'll notice every world kind of has a theme. First world's kind of like, actually the kind of levels are kind of varied for a single home world, but coming in here you're gonna see it's all desert for the most part. All sandy. Most of the levels at least. They do change up the themes for some levels, like 1 or 2. Yeah, you can also see we have control of Spyro during the load screens. A little bit of fun. Just get to roll around and flame. Now, like I said before, there are a certain amount of collectibles you need to get from one world to the next. And the first one we needed to leave the artisans, which we already did, was 10 dragons. For this homeworld we're in right now, you need 1,200 gems, which we'll actually get more than just because it's like these are better gems than getting later, just even though we meet the requirement that we need right now. Coming up in the next world will be 5 eggs, which are the third collectible I was talking about, and that's the only time we'll need those. Then it's 50 dragons and 6,000 gems. And the 6,000 gems is the main thing we're routing the game around. Just because by the time you need 50 dragons, there's only 58 total, so there's only so many you can skip. So a lot of the run comes down to where are the biggest gems that we can get. So like that was the first 25, if you notice from that enemy. It's a rather big gem. Pretty much any 25 we can get to like reasonably quickly we'll go out of our way for. And then that little jump from the vortex to this dragon over here was a little unintended jump, but not too hard. That vortex thing I ran past is the that's like a community name for it. They're called like return, it says like a return home on it, and it's how you're intendedly supposed to leave the level, but you can just exit levels and there's no reason not to. Now coming up here, okay. Yeah, was a trick there that I went for and did not hit, and I will have the opportunity to go for 1 or 2 more times, so I'll explain it later on. Wait until I get a second try at it to do it again, or explain it.
Can I jump in real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
We got a $25 donation from Anonymous that says, I frickin' love toasted cat.
I wonder who that could be.
I wonder who that could be.
I have a certain name in mind. Yep, and then coming up here is going to be the first instance of an egg thief, like I was talking about. Now, normally, in the original game, they're not very hard to get. They're just kind of move pretty slow, and you can catch up to them really easily. In this game, they move very fast. Like, they buffed them a lot. But because we are speedrunners, we are able to manipulate all of them to basically just run exactly where we want them to. So, like, that one, I specifically jumped on the platform before in a way that he like ran off towards the dragon. That way when I ran off the platform after that, I could like, he'd run right into my flame and right towards the dragon. Yeah, even if you're a speedrunner, missing a thief, like accidentally not doing one of the thief manipulations correctly, can lose a lot of time. There's one in particular in Alpine Ridge in Magic Crafters. That one, like, there's like a little racetrack it runs around, and if you miss that one, you're guaranteed to do 2 extra laps, and it loses like 30 seconds or something. It's basically just a run killed. Luckily, that one is not in this run though, so that can't happen. Just could get the Slash Dragon in this level. We're gonna jump over and get a few more gems, and then we'll be out of here. Coming up in the homeworld here, there's another cool little trick jump. It looks weird if you don't know about it, but like basically you're supposed to use this cannon to shoot this platform, but this side is just has no collision, so you can just jump on it if you go in the right spot. It's really not that hard to do, and it just looks a little silly. And then coming up is going to be our first flight level. What these are is there are going to be, actually, if you've noticed, Spyro can only like glide around. He can't actually fly up and down. In these levels, you can. And there's going to be 4 sets of 8 different like collectibles, like objectives you have to get, and I'm going to have to fly around, and these are like the time trial levels of the game. And this is a good time for donations or any information if you have any.
Sure. Well, I just want to remind everyone we are raising money for Save the Children. We are now $25 away from the incentive for Gaffy's run later, which is Fight the Absolute Radiance. So just $25 away, and we will be right there.
Oh,
Get those
yeah.
donations in if you want to see Gaffy do that.
Yeah, if you guys don't know about Hollow Knight, the Absolute Radiance is an insane fight, and I'm sure Gaffy will make that look great. Make sure you get those donations in. So yeah, the only thing about the flights that I'm really worried about, obviously I know all the routes, so I know what I'm doing. The only thing I need to really optimize is the lower Spyro is, like closer he is to the water, the faster he actually flies. So you'll see anytime I can get the chance, I will like dive down towards the water and, you know, try and go a little bit faster. Another change from like the original games to these games, you can actually charge out of a fly, like while you're flying, and then keep flying. So you can see I can do a lot tighter turns that in the original game aren't possible. And I also just realized I didn't open my splits, so I don't know what kind of pace we're gonna be on, which I'm sure will be fine.
I believe in you.
I'm not worried about it. Unfortunately, I didn't get as much practice in as I wanted to because I've had the flu for like the last 2 weeks, and I've just been getting over it. Yeah, but the like couple runs I did were all easily underestimate, even with big mistakes. So I'm not worried about the estimate. I'm just worried about making it look good, you know?
Yeah, I hear you. I believe in you.
Yeah, yeah. Short little jump right here. There's a little tech called a boosted jump, where if you like are charging and then you kind of slide your thumb into the jump button in a certain way, you get a lot of forward momentum and a little bit of extra height, and that lets you make a couple of jumps that aren't possible otherwise. That one was like a little corner cut at the start, just, you know, having to skip like going around and looping a little bit. And then you may have noticed we entirely skipped the first boss level in the homeworld. In the first homeworld, we didn't even go into it. That was the second boss, and we didn't even fight him. A lot of the bosses in this game are pushovers, and for whatever reason, the first 2 don't give very many gems. Like I said, the farther on we go, the higher value the gems tend to get. So these first 2 bosses just aren't even worth fighting because of how little gems they give you. The next 4 will fight, and they will not be hard, but they will give us better gems, so they're worth it. The hardest boss in this game is Metalhead in the 4th homeworld, and that's only because there's a little bit of RNG, which I'll explain when we get there, and it's not even that bad. Coming into the last level of Peacekeepers, this is Ice Cavern. They just like completely flipped the theme into ice now, but it's not really too many tricks. If they have a little bit of time, if you have anything to read.
Well, I wish I had some donations. I believe in you, chat. Give me something to read.
I was really hoping
for
for
a $5 train.
Yeah, at least one for the Absolute Radiance fight. We need come on.
Yeah, I believe in you all. Here, I'll blow on my train whistle here. Let's get it to it.
So yeah, like I said, a lot of this level is just movement. A lot of this game is movement. I just really enjoy movement-based speedruns, and I think this game is really fun movement. But there is going to be a couple little tricks coming up here. We're gonna do a little corner cut here to get to this dragon. And then right after that, there's gonna be a little bit of invisible wall. Oh, I want this 10 gem, forget about that. Right here, you can just stand on, which lets you skip having to climb those, like, going around those other little stair things. And then right here, if I hit this guy in just the right way, normally you're supposed to bonk those guys off the ledge and then they fall and die, but if you hit him just the right way under that chest, he'll actually slide off of it and that will kill him, which saves having to hit him one more time. Yep, and that's all for Ice Cavern, and also we will be leaving Peacekeepers in just a second. Something I didn't mention, and I actually didn't hit on the first homeworld, there's a trick called Early Balloonist Load, or EBL for short. And what I'm gonna do is jump into the Balloonist like text trigger and mash through it and go to the next homeworld before I hit the ground. And what that does is like the load trigger for when the game actually like starts loading the next homeworld is when you hit the ground for whatever reason. So by doing that trick, you trick the game into thinking you've hit the ground sooner, and you save 2 seconds, start loading the next homeworld faster. I really don't know why they did it like that and didn't just trigger on the text, but it's a cool trick we can do. Now coming into the Magic Crafters homeworld, this is when the tricks start getting really cool, and I hope my practice pays off the little bit I've done. Another thief there. A lot of the thieves we just like I was saying earlier, we just run right into. We manipulate. But yeah, so this game, the biggest tech and the coolest thing in my opinion is called supercharge, like keyboard mouse supercharges, or KBM strats for short. Like I said, we are playing this game on PC. Oh, okay. Let me explain that first real quick. That was the trick I went for earlier and didn't get, and I almost never hit it there, so I wasn't gonna like bring it up. As you've noticed, when we go into levels, you see like a big loop-de-loop that Spyro, like the level will load and there'll be like a big loop-de-loop he does. If you pause on the same frame you touch a level portal, the game will already think you're in the level, but it won't start to load. You'll still be on the pause. If you then quit game to the main menu and continue your save file from the same spot, the game will think, oh, you're already in the level, we'll just put you there. And that skips like that big loop-de-loop animation at the start and saves a decent bit of time. So that's what I was going. And that's a frame perfect trick, and we run this game at 50 frames per second, so not the easiest thing in the world. And now coming up here, like I said, like I was explaining, is keyboard mouse supercharges. Now the way these work, I'm gonna try to explain it while I do it. This game, like I said, we play on the PC port, and for just like control, like better controls, they made it so you can steer Spyro with the mouse when you're supercharged, or like just in general. But it really helps when we're supercharging. You can see right now I'm making a lot of tight turns that normally on a controller you're not able to make. And that lets us keep this supercharge going for a really long time and get a lot more things that we normally wouldn't be able to. And if I just get the last little bit right here, perfect. Yeah, that went about as well as expected, or could be expected. That was the first instance of it, and we're going to see it a couple more times this run. Starting immediately, right now, we're going to see it. Those are the two easy instances of it. The next two are going to be quite a bit trickier, and then the last one is the biggest run killer in the game. So we can only pray that one goes good. Like, my PB doesn't even get everything perfectly. It's not easy to do in that level. Next level we're coming into here is Alpine Ridge. This level is very cycle dependent. So you're gonna notice I actually skip a couple of high value gems that normally we would probably... Oh, dropped a few frames right there. Hopefully I still make this. Okay. Yeah, normally there's a few higher value gems there that we would go out of our way for. But because that first staircase, if you notice, that guy was actually raising and lowering it so that you have to wait on it normally. Then this guy with the door, and then this one other guy here with the raising floor right after. Normally all three of these if you don't skip those early game or those early level gems, you would have to wait on, and that ends up being a lot slower, even though they're pretty high value. Yep. And then this is actually where that thief is. That's like a really big time loss if you miss it, but we are not going to be going for him. And then if you remember the guide booking that I was talking about, the first homeworld, you may have noticed we skipped a dragon earlier, or I skipped a dragon coming out of that last level. That was not an accident, that was on purpose. Because we're actually going to guide book back to this level. And then that's going to let us exit level, and that puts us back up at the top of the hill. This game is mainly on PC, timed with loadless, and there are very few places where we do things that are like a little bit RTA slower, where it saves time loadless, and that's one of them. Doing this like RTA optimally would be like a few seconds faster, but for RTA, but because we do loadless, and it ends up being worth it to do that and manipulate the loads a little bit. And then we're going immediately into another supercharged level. This one was the hardest part of the run for a while, but it's pretty consistent now. Couple little tricks in it. But yeah, a little bit of history of this game. When it first released on console, like this version of the game, the remaster, it was mostly ran by people who ran the originals on the PlayStation, and there wasn't a lot of experimentation done in that era. Like most people just either tried to copy what the original games could do, and if it wasn't possible, they just did a baby strat. Also, I'm going to focus on this one part because this is hard. Alright. Oh my god. I don't know. I even turned around to get extra speed and I still didn't make that. That's annoying. It's alright. It's not a big deal. We just have to, I'm just gonna, like, back it up. This will basically be as if I made it, just have to start it from here. Oh. Yeah, so just pretend I didn't die there, and now I'm here.
You didn't die there.
I didn't. Yeah, what death? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, as I was saying, some of the history is that there wasn't a lot of experimentation in that era. It was a lot of just copying what the original games did, and if it didn't work, do a baby route. But in late 2020 it was, a runner by the name of Chickadee VV was the first person who like seriously ran this game on keyboard mouse, and was the person who discovered that, oh, if you use the mouse, you actually can turn faster. And then it was that time that I had come back to the game after taking a break, and her, me, and a few other people ended up like really finding new stuff for this game and implementing all these keyboard mouse strats, and I think making the run what it is today. I think it's really cool the way it's ended up being. Like, not just keyboard mouse stuff is different. If you know like a good amount about both, at least the original game, it's a lot different than this one. This game has like a lot of its own personality now, and I think that's really cool. But yeah, and another flight level, same as before, so if you have any anything to read.
Well, still nothing else to read, but we are, like I said, really close to that absolute radiant incentive. We are $25 away, and then right after that we have another incentive which we have our work cut out for us, but I believe, chat, we have until the end of that run to make it happen. It is Bow Path of the Teal Lotus, which is basically Silksong before Silksong came out. and we are, for that, it is for Viz to do the hard mode version of the final boss. So, not going to want to miss that. I believe he won't heal at all during the final boss.
Yeah, it sounds like really two really cool boss fights coming up if you guys can just give us a little bit more money, so 25
Hell
bucks,
yeah.
that's like nothing. You know?
I believe. Hammy, how are you doing, Hammy?
Oh my god, it's Hammy. Alright, coming into Blowhard. Haha. This is actually the first boss fight of the run, and we're actually gonna kill the boss in this level. Fun fact, Nasty, the final boss, has 2 hits. This boss has 3. So... And so does the one in the 5th homeworld. So the Nasty is like the 3rd strongest boss in the game, being the final boss. Like I said, none of the bosses in this game are hard. You're gonna see how much of a pushover this guy is. Right here, I'm actually... Oop, never mind. I was going to take a little damage abuse from the zap of that guy, but because I missed the chest before, I wasn't able to. There's a, you get a good bit of iframes from a lot of the attacks in this game. That was the boss, by the way, that I just hit. You get a good bit of iframes from a lot of the, getting hit by a lot of stuff in this game, and if I had taken those iframes, it would be faster than the, like, bouncing off the firework chest that I did, or, like, would usually do. Oh. I don't know why my game is... I think I might have left the stream unpaused. My game is dropping frames sometimes. I'm gonna have to check that on like a loading screen. But yeah, here's the second hit of the boss. The only thing we do for like tech is to do like a little boosted jump like I was talking about on that second hit to hit him earlier, and then that's the 3rd hit and he's done. He's that easy. I also need to pull out my gem counts while I'm on this loading screen because I don't remember those super well off the top of my head. So let's do that. 34, 39. Okay, we're basically on perfect gem count right now. But yeah, when you get to the upper levels of running this game, a lot of it is based on your gem count. Like I said, the main routing of this game in general is your gem count. So, knowing how many gems you need, how many gems like is a good pace by a certain time. It's kind of like having gem splits where you have like a plus minus on how many gems you have, and you kind of keep track. Because if you end up like over the amount you need, you can skip some later. If you end up under, you need to get back up and get some more. You know, it's cool like mental process of running the game. Yeah, coming into here, Terrace Village. This is actually... Is it the one? This is the second. This is one of 3 levels, sorry. I don't know why I couldn't remember that. One of 3 levels the original game doesn't do for their any percent. Which, because this game, again, is timed and loadless, it ends up being a little bit more worth to come into an extra level because the loads don't count. Although, 2 of the levels, I believe, would still be worth it even if the game was timed RTA. This one, but maybe even this one. Oops, okay, could try this one more time. Damn. There's a, that's just a little jump. If you've noticed, you may have noticed, if you just barely miss a ledge, Spyro will do what we call an auto hover, where in this game he actually doesn't have the hover ability. In Spyro 2 and 3 he does, but if you just barely miss, the game will give you it'll like automatically give you a little hover, just to like make you feel a little less bad about missing it. There's a trick right there on that torch. We just call it torch jump, where you can get the auto hover onto it and then skip having to jump across the gap. Barely saves any time. It's like 4 seconds. But it can be very finicky, so I didn't want to just sit there for like a minute right now. I am very confident that we're on good pace, but like I said, I don't have my splits up, so I don't want to risk it. Put us behind schedule.
No, you've got just the end of the day. We're good.
Yeah, it's fine. Gonna get Bruno. Everybody forgets Bruno. If you run both the completion and this category in this game, in the completion category, you get Bruno on the way into that level. So it is very common for like when you're switching categories to just forget that you need him on the way out, and then you get really sad when you're a dragon short. and then Bruno gets really sad because you missed him. So, have to make sure we get Bruno. Oops. Coming up here is going to be the final flight level, as well as the hardest flight level of the run. The first level we did a little out of order, and the second one we did like completely intended. But the first one for the most part was like the intended way, just a little bit. This one we actually kind of just do backwards. Like you're normally supposed to go with these guys so that you can get all of them pretty easily. We're gonna go against them, so we only have to do one loop around this track, and this turn right here is just a little awkward, but nothing to be scared of. And then same thing in this next area coming up. There's another like set of looping planes, and we're gonna go against the planes instead of with them to try and clear them faster. And then like I said also, we are staying as low to the water as we can to just get as much speed as we can. Alright. Oh, and something I should have mentioned before too is if you saw there right at the end, Spyro tries to do like a little twirl when I get the last collectible. That's called that's just like the fly out animation. If you run him into a wall, like you just saw me do there on the way out, it actually skips that and you don't get that, and it saves like another 4 seconds. So it's kind of important that you end flights in areas that you can bonk into something and have that get canceled. Okay. Yeah. Now this Misty Bog is one of the most hated levels casually and speedrunning. It is the enemies in this level can be a nightmare if you're not careful with them. There are 3 different enemy types and they're all mean, so we're gonna just hope that I don't take too many hits. And to add insult to injury, you actually take a damage boost right at the start of this level, so we're gonna be down to 2 hits anyways. Oh, I need this. I'm gonna play it safe. Something I never explained is you may notice the little dragonfly next to me. His name is Sparks. Oops. Okay, we're fine. He will follow me around, and you have probably noticed he picks up like loose gems that are on the ground for me. He also, if you've probably noticed, he's like blue right now. He has 3 different colors that represent how much health you have. Yellow means you can take 3 hits and you're at full health. Blue, like right now, means you can take 2 hits. Green means you can take 1, and then after you get hit with green, you actually lose him, which means you are 1 hit away from dying, and you have to like manually walk around and pick up the gems yourself. So we want to avoid losing Sparks at all costs during the run. Ooh. Just gonna do that. And then these frogs can be really annoying. You have to like jump over their tongues so that they can't hit you with their little attack. He's not going bad so far though. Yeah, okay. That went about as well as could be expected. Not too bad. Woo! Yeah. Coming up next is going to be the other hated level. They're back to back if you played this game. This one's hated more casually than speedrunningly, but there are 2 kind of like secret areas that if you didn't understand the hints as a kid, which are pretty vague, it is really hard to get to because it's just like the puzzles. Although we are going to do them both not the way you're supposed to because we are speedrunners. This is going to involve more supercharging like we said, like you've seen before. Coming up right at the start of the level, this is the only level that has like a cutscene when you enter the level, and it's supposed to show off like the thief is here. Oh, you're supposed to follow the thief. But if we go down left like that and jump out of the trigger, we can actually skip it, which is just a nice little 1-second time save. Also, something funny about the collectibles in this game, the eggs that I was talking about before, we needed 5 of those to leave the last home world. And there are still thieves in this game. They just all have gems from now on, which is just a little funny thing. Yep, we're gonna do the first supercharge here. This one's not too difficult. Down here is gonna be a key chest that if I just maneuver this right, yep, just break right through it. Don't actually need the key. And then going immediately into another supercharge, which this one's a good bit harder. I'm gonna try and slow myself down on this corner. Ooh, okay, yeah. And then that lets me keep enough speed that I can make this jump up here an unintended way. And I also, I'm pretty sure I just pushed the red thief off the track, which I've only done like twice before. Which is not the end of the world, but it's 25 gems that I would have liked to have. It's okay. And then we're gonna do a little 360 here to jump across here and go get this last dragon. But yeah, normally when you're going down that ramp that I just did that on, you have to run on like the very edge of it to keep the thief from like pushing you. But apparently I pushed him and he was just gone because I did not see him on the end and I did not kill him. So let me make sure my gem count is all right. We should be looking at somewhere around 47, like 80, 70. Okay, we're fine still. It's not the end of the world. And then even though we're starting to come close to the end of the run-ish, this is the second of 4 bosses we fight. Metalhead. This one, like I said, is the hardest. And you'll see why. In the fight itself, there's like these, the way you damage him, there are these electric pillars and they'll turn on and off and you need to just charge through them while they're all off. But they are RNG when they turn on and off, so you just kind of have to have quick reactions and like good movement to not get hit and a little bit of luck. Oops. And then this is going to actually be our 50th and final dragon of the run. The rest of the run is just going to be getting the rest of the gems we need and leaving as fast as, and killing the final boss as fast as possible. Oh, okay. Gonna have to wait on that one for a little. There we go. And we're not actually gonna kill Metalhead. I may have lied about that a little bit. We're actually gonna kill the first phase and then leave. It ends up being faster to just do that first phase and pick up those group of gems and then not actually do the second phase because the rest of the gems are kind of spread out awkwardly. And then I'm pretty sure we're fine on gems, but in case something goes wrong in Haunted, I'm gonna get like an extra 20 right here real quick, just to be on the safe side.
Are you ready to go?
They're not too bad to get right there. And then we're coming up on the hardest level of the run right now, but before we get into that, if you have anything else to say, CJ?
We did get a $20 donation from Anonymous with no message.
Wow, okay, that means we're 5 away from the Radiance fight, right?
$5 away from the Radiance
Come
fight,
on,
yes.
guys, $5.
It's, you know, $5 is $5. Not a lot of people know that.
That is true.
Yeah.
Somebody
you can be the hero.
Yeah, somebody can afford to skip their McDonald's coffee in the morning tomorrow, right? Surely.
Maybe they can, maybe they can't, but don't call me Shirley. Hi-oh.
Alright. So like I said, this is the hardest level in the run, in my opinion, by a lot. Part of that is because some of the settings that I play on make jumps a little, like, kind of trickier, which doesn't matter for most of the run, but there is one jump in this level that is very hard. You're gonna see, I basically have to get a perfect jump spacing-wise, and then catch the wall with a wall glide to get up. And then that is immediately followed by easily the hardest supercharge in the run, which in itself has a very hard jump, so we're gonna just kind of hope everything goes alright. We should have a good enough estimate barrier that, like, even if it goes poorly, we're not worrying that much. But yeah, we already did one cool jump to like skip a door that you're supposed to go get like Super Flame for, and then right here. Yay. Come on. Okay. Ow. got that jump at least. But the hard part here is if I mess up the supercharge, I get respawned before that jump, so I will have to do it again. But we're gonna try not to do that. Oh man, yeah, that's annoying. That was the really hard jump of the supercharge I was talking about. You need to like, there's a little corner on that bridge, and you need to like ride up it a little bit before you jump, or else you don't get enough height. And I just tried to get like a little too close and monked off of it, and I'm gonna have to do this jump again because of that now. Which, damn, that was really close. And yeah, that's why I was trying to make him attack me before. I thought I could go fast enough that time, but nope. Unfortunately, there is like, okay, there we go. There is a backup, which is to do the intended level. You haven't seen one because there's only 2 levels that have them, but there are these fairies that you can get kisses from, and they will give you like a super flame that lets you break metal. And that's normally what you're supposed to do there, but that is slow, so we try to avoid that. You gotta go way out of your way and then get like an animation and come back. But yeah, then we end up in here. So just pretend I did like the part where I died, got back up, and then I did the second part. And that's what it looks like. Like I said, that is the hardest supercharge in the game by far, so I'm not surprised it didn't go super well. And then I mentioned it before, but I forgot to mention it again. That level was the second level we do that the original game doesn't do, and then this is the third. Which, this level is just pretty fast with all the cycles you can just barely make in this game. And a trick that I will point out near the end that lets us get a bunch of extra gems. But a lot of it is just making the enemy cycles, because there are these lantern guys you'll see right here that they turn on and off, and when they turn on they like make the enemies shrink, and when they turn off the enemies get big, and they like these big turtle guys you cannot kill while they are big, and they can hurt you. So, and like I said before, we're just gonna skip past all the dragons. We don't need any of them anymore. Oops. And then coming up right here, you're gonna see I'm a little bit off cycle, so we're gonna have to wait for him to get big again. But when they're big, these turtles, they shoot fireballs at you. And you may have noticed I'm standing right in front of a strong chest. If you probably saw the fireball hit the strong chest because I jumped out of the way and it broke it. Normally, there are these fireworks that are in levels that you have to light for those strong chests, or a key you have to find. That one's a firework. But by letting the fireball explode it like that, we are skipping having to go through like the entire level to break it, and there's 50 gems in there, which is a lot for any stage of the game. But yeah, coming out of Dark Passage, we're going to Jacques, which is the third boss, and actually the second to last level in the game. It's the only level besides the final boss. So, yeah, the run's not going too bad so far.
It's been a great time so far.
I hope so.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, we call him a boss, but a boss in this game means they take more than one hit, really. That's all it really means. They are all pushovers, and this one is no exception. This is the last level in the game before we get to the last homeworld, like I said, the final boss in the last homeworld, which means this is our last chance to get gems before the last 6,000 gem requirement. So I'm gonna look at I looked at my gem notes, and I'm gonna get some extra gems just to clean up. Pretty sure I don't need all of these, but it's at this point, if you miss gems and don't have enough, then it's a lot more costly to go recover them. So I'll gladly just pick up a couple extra now. And grab this key. And then this is the boss, which is literally just run to the spots he stops and flame him 3 times. This is the era of gaming when they were still trying to figure out what a boss was, so they're not very difficult. At least in the 3D platformer sense. And I even got the skill point for not taking a hit. Look at that. We're so skilled. And then coming out of here, I should have more than enough gems. Yeah, I have like 30 more than I need. All right, and then this is going into the final boss. So if you have anything else to say before the run's over, now's the time, CJ.
I don't have anything else, but I wish I did.
I bet we can get the last $5 though before this run's over. I bet. But yeah, coming into the last homeworld, this is the... Normally there are 2 other levels we're supposed to do before the final boss, but there is a skip called Coveless, which skips Cove, the level. And I'm gonna do it and then I will explain it, because it's very in-depth, so let me focus on it.
Hi, Spyro. Hi, Spyro.
That should be good. Oh, okay, we're good. All right. So, basically, what we did is there are 2 parts to that glitch. The first is fairy storage, where if you talk to a dragon pedestal, like after you've already freed the dragon, you get the option to like replay the cutscene or like continue playing the game. And by doing a certain set of inputs, you can get Spyro to run away from the platform while still having the menu up. And what that lets us do is talk to the balloonist, start going to another homeworld, and then when you skip the original dialogue box that was up, or when you skip the dragon cutscene that gets played because of that, you get control back of Spyro. Also, real quick, flat Spyro. And then the second part of that trick is by getting on the balloon and skipping the cutscene. Like I said, we get control back of Spyro, and then by doing some weird movement that's changed to make like the balloonist cutscene work, we are able to actually get Spyro into the portal, because the dragon head that like blocks us from getting in unloads, but the portal stays loaded for a little bit longer. So that lets us skip having to play 2 other levels in over a minute. And now this is the final boss. We just are chasing down Nasty and give him 2 hits and then we'll be done. So coming up on time in like 30-ish seconds. Just the final little bit through the lava room here. And that's gonna be time. GG.
GG. Great run.
Thank you, thank you. And then the one thing left to do is it's a ritual you have to do. Even though this timer doesn't matter for PC runs, we still check the in-game time, which is going to be 25:23. That's not bad. That is not a terrible run.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, not too bad.
Do you have anything you'd like to say? Any shout outs? Any where can the people find you type of stuff?
Yeah, my name's just Toasted Cat everywhere on YouTube and Twitch, basically. And just for a couple shout outs, Vivi I mentioned earlier in the run, Cameron, Groxu, myself are people that like really pushed the supercharged routing early in this game. And then some other top runners that are still active, like Toro Knight, Chamey, Dylan J. Fox, just other people who are keeping this game alive and pushing it forward. Appreciate all of you.
Hell yeah. Well, we are going to take a quick pause. We're going to play some ads to keep the lights on. And when we get back, we're going to be getting ready for our next run, which is Hollow Knight Happy Couple. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.